Hello, this is Joe83, and this is round 11 of AOR this season. It is the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim, back on the calendar after it wasn't on the game last season, or last year, sorry, in 2017. So then, as you can see, it is a wet qualifying session, which is okay. I think I would kind of want a wet quali because it's very difficult one stop, so you've got to do softs in quali if it's not wet, which is a bit annoying because they're about a second slower than ultra softs. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise that it's wet, even though I'm not brilliant in the wet on the wheel. But yeah, changing the setup a little bit. I'm not going to change it massively. The other one is obviously drying the race, but I'm going to change it a little bit so it's a bit easier to drive in the wet, put a diff down, put the front wing up a bit, and the brake pressure down a little bit as well. And then heading out on track on the intermediates, even though it's heavy rain at the minute, but the inters are faster for some reason. But yeah, going round to start my first lap, and loads of oversteer already. You can see it's very difficult to drive in these conditions, and yeah, not the best start of lap already, and taking a turn one pretty cautiously. Don't want to cut it or anything. And some people are like that one. Coming down to finish my first lap, and it is it's already slower than pole Ludima, or like the prisoner pole at the minute. It's a 125.1, which is really don't know what that's going to be, but I went straight for another lap, and it's already like 7/10 up, so you can see confidence growing throughout the session really. And coming around the final few corners now, very difficult to nail, especially in the wet. As a really I didn't practice in the wet at all, but it's going to be a 24.3 this time. It's up to 4 for the minute, but obviously times are going to keep falling as people's confidence gets higher and higher. So I went in to the pits and came out once again. Loads of oversteer on the exit of the hairpin stadium section, and even more oversteer now. This has been a really scruffy end to the lap, but it's still going to be an improvement, it looks like. Coming on the last corner, take a nice bit of curve on the inside, and not too wide there. It's going to be 2.5 tenth improvement, up to 5th now with the 24.1, so still a lot of time to find. But yeah, this is now my last lap, in my best lap in quality, my last lap. I see my teammate Fred just ahead is pretty quick, because he's I think he's currently in 2nd place, but he's going to start his last flying lap as well. And I am at 2, going down towards turn 1, braking just out of the board, taking very cautiously, like way too cautiously. Looking back on that, I should have taken way more speed and a lot more curves through there, but we're already a long way down. Ethan goes fastest at the as it stands, braking 100-meter board, going down towards turn 2. A little bit of oversteer exit, but not too bad, and we're already up on my previous time, but it's going to be half a second off a pole, which is quite a lot, but we are a 10th up on my previous lap, so just an improvement will be nice. We're down to 10th at the minute, which would not be ideal to start. And I'll come down towards the hairpin, putting it in the low ARS modes, because it isn't possible to run high the whole way around, or hot lap the whole way around, I should say. Taking that pretty nicely, not too much oversteer on exit, but a little bit of the back end stepping out on the traction. But now coming down towards the fast right-hander, easy flat, even in the wet, and now down the 100-meter board, just for the 100-meter board in the wet. Down to 3rd gear for the Mercedes Stadium corner, and going on this corner is very difficult to nail in the dry, so you've got to take quite a big lift in the wet to get through it fine. Could take a little bit more speed there, but we're a second off my previous lap, but it's still half a second off a pole. So my first sector, if it wasn't so awful, I could be like on for a very good result here. But going down, breaking the DHL sign to set 3rd gear, to where another Ferrari driver had a bit of an issue in real life, but luckily I get through there fine. And now going down the last few corners, braking down to 4th gear, trying to take enough curve on the inside, miss it a little bit, but now trying to take as much speed as possible up to the line, putting it back into overtake mode up to the line. Fred goes fastest. I'm going to set a 1:22.5, which is currently 6th, but a second off of Fred's time. But PT actually beat that in the end, so very close, half a tenth between them. And I'm actually in 6th place, which is pretty good. I'll take that. There's only 15 drivers, there's someone joining quali, so I could have done better, but it could have been a lot worse as well. And now you can see, as it is wet, everyone's going to start on the softs, which is pretty helpful, because there's no need to like do stupid one-shot quali effectively on the soft tyres. So luckily it was wet, so that means everyone's going to start on softs. Do a one-stop, fairly easy one-stop. Lap 13 to 15 is the pit window. Changing my setup back to the dry, and here we go. 5 red lights for the German Grand Prix from Hockenheim, from 6th on the grid, and it's away we go for the AOR race. And now pretty good start. Adam's got a better start from my left, but getting surrounded a bit by Fenham and someone else on the inside as well, but they don't go from moving to turn 1. Adam and Pickless going side by side, and just down towards the turn 2, I've still got a good position, still 6th place. Fenham's going to look around the outside, but he's not going to make that stick. And Adam is still side by side with Pickless. You can see up ahead Ben and Ethan going side by side as well. So try and keep my nose clean, just don't get damaged. And I overtake mode, maybe looking through on Pickless or Adam, but the slipstream is not powerful enough, as they have slipstream as well. And I'm coming down towards the hairpin, braking a little bit early, trying not to get damage, and also trying to fend off Fenham as well, as he's very quick. He's usually very quick. I don't quite know why he's behind me in quali, but now down towards the next few corners, still behind Adam Dude and Pickless in 6th place. Fenham is not going to go for a move there, as that would be very stupid. Adam and Pickless still going at it really, and Adam's running outside of the fast right-hander. Is he going to make that stick? No, he isn't. He's backed out quite sensibly and staying in 6th. I think it's all basically as it was on the grid. It's certainly in the lower bits, but Pickles has gone into gravel there a little bit, but Adam can't take advantage. And actually, Fred's taken the lead from second on the grid. Ethan's down to third, so not a good start for him. But now, a few minutes later, lap 4, and Adam has got past everyone, it looks like. He's just made a bit more Fred as well, so very close to back of Pickles. The two Williams cars ahead of me now, still in 6th place. And Adam has actually made his way from 5th up to 2nd now, you can see up ahead. So very good for him. He raced earlier in the season, but his connection was bad, but now he's got it sorted. He's back. And he's back with a bang, it looks like, up into 2nd place within 4 laps. And you can see Pickles just ahead of me. Still trying to stay with him, but I've run a bit wide there. Going to have to come back on slowly, not to get a warning there. And now I hate this corner completely. We actually cut it there quite badly. Get a warning, but I'm sure penalty is going to be pretty common. Pickles has gone wide though, and that should allow me up the inside of the stadium section. And he's going to back out of that quite sensibly. So fair play to him. I've got 5th place back. And now trying to close on Ethan ahead with the pole sitter, who's fallen down to 4th place within a few laps. But still trying to fend off Pickles, we have pretty similar pace, I think. And obviously DRS and slipstream around here will be enough to keep people with each other. So it's very difficult to break gaps at all. But now you can see lap 11, a lot later, nothing really happened apart from me just driving around in 5th. And now Pickles and Fenham are right behind me. And they're going to be very close enough to go for a move, probably, as I have no DRS off Ethan. And they have DRS on me. And yeah, Pickles right behind me now. Is it going to be close enough? I've gone defensive into the corner, into hairpin, breaking at the 100-meter board just before it, and now trying to force Pickles out over the curve on the exit, and that's my line, and that is that position retained for now. But he's still very close to me with Fenham also right behind him. And now lap 13, a few laps later, stayed ahead of Pickles for now. And now coming around the final corner, and Ethan is going to peel off into the pits actually. So he's going for an undercut, it looks like, onto the medium tyres on lap 13. Unfortunately for me, Fred didn't pit that lap, so it looks like he's going to have priority because he's the car ahead on track. So yeah, this lap 14 now. I think Fenham also pitted last lap, so he's going to have a big undercut, but Fred's in the pits, which means that I can't go in the pits, unfortunately. Pickles is also going to dive in, and that is maybe he's going to put me liable to undercut from both of the drivers around me, of Pickles and Fenham. But now if I can set a good lap, maybe, as their mediums are very bad when they're cold, so maybe I can stay ahead of them. But we put the ERS and fuel down for that lap, as I didn't really have a chance of getting too much time. And now coming into the pits, Adam Dude is also in the pits, went to lap 15, as I did myself. Ludimer also in the pits in the Haas behind me. And now pitting into the box onto medium tyres. Ferrari boys doing a good job there, 2.7, and you can see, I think that's Slow Cav. No, it's Ben actually leading by quite a way. Adam's going to come out of the pits just behind him, so that's going to be a good battle for the win. And I see Fred and Ethan are still going at it, and I'm actually going to come out ahead of Fenham and Pickles, who are being held up by Troy at the minute. Fenham's teammate, who's doing me a good job, to be fair. I don't quite know why I was not letting Fenham through, but now I've actually got quite a gap on them, which is quite good. But you can see it's oversteer already on these cold mediums, as they do take quite a while to heat up, which means that Fenham and Pickles will be able to catch up pretty quickly, I reckon. But you can see lap 19 still got a little bit of a gap ahead of me, but Fenham and Pickles are right on my tail again, and I've not got a great exit there at all. And Fenham is right behind me. He's going to be close enough for a move into the Mercedes corner, and he's going to the outside, which is turned to the inside for the next corner, breaking the 100-meter board, trying to fend him off and leave him a bit of space on the inside, swing it around the outside, and like to the inside for the next corner, which should give me that position. Yeah, staying in 5th place for the time being. He's not close enough, and a move into this section of the track is very stupid. So even Fenner wouldn't go for that, and yeah, he's staying behind in 6th for now. We're now lap 21. I've set a PB actually, which is pretty good, and now through turn 1, trying not to cut it. We do it pretty well there, and Fenham is just behind me, about half a second back, breaking the just before the 100-meter board for this corner. And Fenham has completely missed his braking point and spun me round. Thank you very much. And yeah, so Pickles and Ludo both go through. Fenham didn't get damage from that somehow. I really don't know. Maybe I don't even know what it was, but yeah, I think he missed his braking point and hit me round, but I stayed ahead of him, so didn't really matter. I'm not going to take it to stewards because there's no point. And yeah, Ludibert and Pickles are now ahead of me, but we have very similar pace, which is a bit annoying because I was ahead of them, but now I don't have track position anymore. But you can see like 24, Fenham actually spun out and retired later in the race, so yeah, great job from him. And now Ludibert and Pickles just ahead are still going to be battling pretty hard. And Ludibert's got the inside, very narrow line there for ahead of Pickles, and trying to stay with them. They're going very wide there, Pickles. I'm going to maybe swing up the inside, but Pickles is going to take a cutback line. And yeah, just about cut me off, but fair enough, he was ahead, so keeps that 6th place for now. And Pickles just behind just behind Ludibert in the Haas, and it's battle for 5th. There's quite a big gap ahead. You see to Ethan, who's currently in 4th still. So yeah, 5th is the best I can get in this race. Obviously, depending on penalties and anything, I might already have it, but I've got a lot of penalties. I think at this point I had 9 seconds, which really isn't good at all. But yeah, that's just the way it goes at a track that's difficult to stay on the track for. Pickless up the inside, Ludema switching to the outside, and Pickless has that move done into 5th place. Great battling between these two cars. I'm just staying behind for now, trying to bide my time, save a bit of ERS and fuel, and then go for something a bit closer to the end of the race so I can maybe keep it. And now down to the Mercedes corner, Ludema misses the apex a little bit, but he's still ahead, still just behind or ahead of me. And Ludema now in the DRS once again of Pickless for the, I think, the 4th lap in a row this might be. And Ludema is going to go up the inside, looks like, yes he is, of Pickless. Very narrow line again as Pickless has gone pretty defensive. And now Ludema up the inside, trying to take a nice line here and just still behind him. But Ludema has that position done, but Pickless has got a pretty bad exit right behind him now. Could we go for a move into the stadium section? It doesn't look like it, as he's a little bit too far ahead, trying to take it cautiously now. Don't want to lose wing, as that would be very stupid at this point in the race, as we've got a massive gap behind to War Blazer Guns. He's doing pretty well. So he's, I don't think he's scored points yet this season, so 8th place at the minute for Blazer Guns is pretty good. But now Pickless and Ludema still just ahead of me into the next section. Pickless has gone a little bit wide there. Maybe he picked up a warning for that, I don't know, but now down towards the stadium section, he's gone a little bit wide again. I'm trying to take a better apex, but making sure not to spin out on that curb, as that would be pretty detrimental. With Pickless now through the last 2 corners, going pretty wide over the curbs there. He doesn't gain anything from that. He actually loses time, and that's giving me a chance into turn 1 now with DRS and putting it to overtake mode, trying to get a good surround speed. And now down the inside into turn 1, very difficult to overtake here, but he's actually backed out of that pretty sensibly. And I've taken that position up into 6th, pick up a warning while we're at it, but that doesn't really matter. And now Pickless still just behind, coming down towards the next corner. And Ludema still just ahead, and luckily he's not got DRS now, and I do. So this should be a fairly straightforward move if Slipstream's as powerful as it's meant to be. And now coming down towards the hairpin on Ludema in the Slipstream, going to swing to the inside. Massive overspeed with high RS modes and rich mix. And now putting it down to low because he had that move done, and now breaking just below the 100 meter board and taking that position into 5th place. And you can see Fred is a bit ahead as he spun out, so Ethan got into 3rd unfortunately for us, but it's still a good result if it stays like this. But there's still quite a few laps to go, so as I know, and I don't have DRS now, so anything could happen still. And now coming down towards the middle section, I've got a little bit of oversteer there, but not too bad. Now a lap later on lap 32, hitting the inside orange curb a lot, and that's a lot of oversteer there, and just about holding it, but that's going to be a terrible exit. And Ludema is basically already alongside before DRS is even activated, and now he's going to try and go up the inside. I've got no ERS left at all. I've got to put it down this straight, and that's allowed Ludema to go through. And you see Pickless is going to go down the outside as well, so try and hold off Pickless, but Ludema has pretty much got that move done. Yes, he has. And Pickless try and just leave in space on the outside, force over the curb, and take that position back into 6th place. I don't know, like, penalties could mean anything at this point, so no idea what's happening. But Ludema still just ahead. We've maybe got a chance at the next few laps if we stay with him. But now through the next corner, actually keep it on the track pretty well there. And now at lap 34, the very last lap, Ludema's actually got a bit of a gap, which is unfortunate. And yeah, that means I'm not close enough. I don't even know if I've got DRS actually, but I am perfectly set to 1 somehow. But no, we don't have DRS on Ludema, which is a pretty big problem, is that means Pickless can have a very big chance of overtaking me down to the next into the hairpin. But no, he's a little bit too far back unless he absolutely sends it. But he has sent it pretty well there, and just about leaving space on the inside, but that's my line. He's not close enough to warrant space there. Little bit of oversteer and exit, but no problem, done. And if I can stay within 3 seconds of Ludema, there's always a chance that he has more penalties than me. But obviously, as I said, I have 12 seconds now at this point, which I'm not very proud of, as that is very bad. And there's a very big chance that Pickless has less than 12, and if he does, then that's another position for him. But a lot of oversteer there as well. And now fuel is a pretty big issue as well, so down to lean mix for the last sector. That doesn't really matter. There's no overtaking spots at all. And you can see Adam has won the race, which is pretty surprising on his return. Beat Ben to the win fair and square, and I can see on the minimap that the Williams car for Ethan is going to beat Fred. And that's not a podium for Fred, but still a good result. And now you can see coming across the line, it's going to be 6th place for myself, but it's actually 5th because Ludema had more penalties than me somehow, and he actually had 23 seconds. Not quite sure how. He must have got to stop going there somehow. But yeah, that's actually 5th place then, because Pickless had 12, I had 12, and Ludema had 23, which I'm not sure how he managed that, but I had a lot. And you can see Adam won the race, Ben and Ethan 2nd and 3rd. Pretty good race for me. I'll definitely take that, bouncing back from a disappointment at Silverstone a few weeks ago. And yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. Subscribe if you want to see more. This has been JY3, and I will see you next time.